Hey, what up? It's Austin, and today what I want to do is share with you guys a little bit about my dating life and experiences that I've had, so that way you guys can level up. Um, so if you're struggling with women today and you're the type of guy that has everything that the world says you need to have on paper, this is definitely for you. And I just want to start by sharing a brief story about my friend Dave. Um, we used to go out to the bars all the time and used to have house parties, on the weekends. And my buddy Dave, he actually would go with us, and he was just your typical bro. He had every advantage that every one of us had, but he still struggled with women. And the guy was, he was just jacked. He had a nice car, um, you know, had everything going for him, but he still struggled with women. So he actually came up to me after, or the next day after a party. We were meeting together the following Saturday to go pregame, and we were just kind of starting to drink and play some beer pong. And so Dave started to ask me during that time period. He said, he's like, "What? How did you go home with that hot chick the other night?" And I kind of just stared at him, saying, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, how did you go home with that hot chick?" And I was like, "Oh, um, I was like, what do you mean by that?" And um, you know, he he just kind of kept asking me as we were taking shots and playing beer pong. And I was like, I tell you what, I think I know what he's getting at, but if you make a shot and as we keep drinking, if you for every shot you make, I'll answer one of your questions. And so Dave kind of laughed it off, thought this is a funny idea, and so um, we just kept playing, and then he kind of started to open up to me, and then once we kept going, he's opening up about his issues with women, and he asked me, about that chick, and I just told him, like he was like, "How did you go with that hot chick?" I was like, "Man, I just used my female manual. Where's yours?" And but all jokes aside, no, I started to tell him like uh, I started to like try to help him uncover his goals with women, and I just knew I could help him since I had mastered this in my college days. Um, and so the first thing he kind of asked me though was like, he had everything going for him. He had, you know, he was jacked. He was friendly. He, had a nice car. But he was like, "What type of guy does it take to be really good with women?" And uh, I was like, he asked if it was the alpha male, the guys that run around and try to tell everybody they're alpha without letting you find that out for yourself, or he's like, or is it the guy that drives around in the Ferrari, or is it the shredded guy that like eats, sleeps, and breathes at the gym? And I was like, man, guess what? It's none of those. Uh, all three things Dave listed, have one thing in common. Can you guys guess what that is? I'll give you a second. Well, I'll just tell you guys. These three men are all leading with the externals. And in game, that's called leaning with a crutch. First, the quote unquote alpha male who puts on a show to make people think he's intimidating and tough is pointing to himself and definitely will not come across to women in the way he thinks. It will be obvious to females he is putting on a show that is not congruent with himself, coming across very insecure. The second leads with his sports car, and the last gym bro who is into his body more than the girls probably are. He leads with his physique, so all externals, which is not what the girls are looking for. And in game, you're not meant to lean on a crutch to get women. So, lean on yourself, not on your stuff. So he said, "Well, that's what I've seen in movies and TV, and this leads me to the three most common misconceptions men have about dating and game these days. Misconception number one: using the sports car, being jacked, and running around trying to show women I'm alpha will get me the girls, right? Not so fast, my friend. Truly, misconception number one is all about rewiring false beliefs you have taken from ads, TV, Hollywood, and switching from showing off the externals to the internals. I'll say that again because that's going to be the biggest thing you can do to make your game go from, to level up as a beginner. So you just want to shift from promoting the externals you have to the internals in yourself. So, just a brief story. I can remember when I was younger, I got sucked into this myself. The externals and the way Hollywood displayed the ease of getting women for like the main character in the James Bond film. I thought that that was badass to, being the best dressed guy or one of the guys with the coolest cars was the one that gets the girl. That's Hollywood, and those things can be nice, but they're just things at the end of the day. So, now some of these things can help you, like nice clothes, a good physique, uh, a nice car. But what you'll find is when you're trying to attract women with these things, like you see the creators do on Instagram and on socials, uh, that may lead you to attracting them with your stuff, not you. So, the real success with attracting women and is not leading with money or cars. And the minute you stop providing, if you lead with money and cars, the moment you stop providing that lifestyle to those women, they're gone because that's the only reason they're there because you've attracted them to your stuff, not you. So, um, that was misconception number one. Now, misconception number two is very important. This is one of the biggest things in game that uh, you know once you kind of get focused on the internals. I put these in order for a reason. So if you guys will focus on misconception one, then two, then three, that's going to be your best bet for this because they all three work, but you have to do them in order because if you're kind of a jerk to girls or stuff like this where you don't focus on the internals and being like kind and decent, uh, you know this next one won't land the right way. So let's just get into it. Misconception number two now is stop placing women on a pedestal or even knock them off their pedestal, which I used to do all the time. There'd be these girls at these house parties that some of them are the same ones, and they think they're 10 out of 10. And, most of the time these girls are attractive and, but every once in a while you'll get one that knows it. And so I used to knock those girls off their pedestal and, when they would talk, I would just act like, they're just anybody else and, kind of would tease them harder because I knew like you could just tell that the air they gave off. And when you did that, you could tell they were like, they wanted to get your attention more because you were just not really giving them any attention or you were just not having it with them. So, they're used to having men that just fawn all over them. So, uh, that's misconception number two. It's a vital game changer to go from beginner to intermediate with women and use that um, at the core of attraction. So, when it comes to understanding female nature, use this as liberally as you would like. And then I would say the big sub point about placing knocking women off their pedestal or tip that I can give you guys, like I gave Dave, he kind of started treating these women like they're goddesses and not just regular people. You kind of want to just appreciate their beauty, but in my mind, I'm asking, what else do I like about her now that I know I'm attracted? Or now that I'm attracted, what else does she got? So one of the techniques though that I use whenever I'm around gorgeous women and smoke shows is, and this is key, guys. This will work like a charm. You know, I don't know if anyone else is doing this, so I'm pretty proud of myself for this one because I remember when I was first starting off, there'd be girls that I was really attracted to, and um, until I learned this key, it was like, day and night difference. But the key is when you see these gorgeous women or smoke shows, treat the 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 like a 6 out of 10. They're not a 6, but if you treat them that way, then these women, not only does that communicate to them, like, okay, this guy has probably been with women of my caliber, and also he's not freaking out over my beauty like 99% of other guys do. So that's one of the most important skills, guys, I can give. There's a lot of value in this video, so just please, I think you guys will enjoy. Uh, so just please use as you please. But yeah, that's gonna be something that will serve you almost any time with dating. Um, Now, misconception number 3 is only alphas get chicks, hot chicks. Now, let me bring you guys to my last beach trip. As I was walking down past the hotel to the swimming pool bar, I saw a 10 out of 10, like gorgeous, beautiful smoke show. And guess what, guys? She was sitting with a beached whale. I mean, I'm not kidding. This guy was like probably 350 pounds, taking up 4 lawn chairs. I'm not even kidding. Um, Now, most guys would think he's obese and fat, so how did he get her? The answer is not. The answer is he's not trying too hard to impress or be good enough. He's fully comfortable in his own skin. So that's key number 3, guys. To be comfortable in your own skin, that's going to help you massively be successful with women. They're looking for guys that are just really confident in themselves. And, as luck would have it, I ended up speaking to that guy at the bar and asked him, I was like, you got a pretty good looking girlfriend over there. And he said like 3 jokes, like something, and we started laughing and ended up like kind of making an acquaintance. And so when I could tell the guy was just really funny. And a lot of times girls are just into funny guys. So, if you guys will just lead with internals, a lot of times that can be the game changer that you need to be successful. Um, so, having cleared up, or and also you guys may know somebody else like this. You may have been in school with somebody that was, not the most attractive guy, or, not the most, like had the best physique or anything, or you've seen guys that you normally wouldn't think are with hot chicks. And that's because a lot of times they're just confident in their own skin or comfortable in their own skin. And that will go way further than, like a nice car with some girls. Like, you know, um, especially long term versus a short term kind of success. Now, having cleared up the wrong types of guys women do not find attractive, through these common misconceptions, my buddy Dave began to see the truth. When you are secure and truly comfortable in your own skin, you get results. So don't be afraid to bring your own uniqueness out. The side of yourself uh, that you only show people you're most comfortable with, or your close friends. That side of is what you should show the chick, so that she can see that you're actually aligned with who you really are. And if you lean into it, your own personality, this is what attracts them like a magnet. We all have our own unique way of speaking, vibing, the way we do things. We were all created with our own uniqueness. When you lead with what makes you interesting or your character more, you will allow women to get to know you on an emotional level, which is the best way to get the girl. Next, you want to treat her just how you would anybody else and never put what I call the celebrity effect on a girl. If you treat her like a celebrity, she's going to treat you like a fan. And lastly, remember, the more you get used to having these interactions out or realizing how to be secure in your own uniqueness and skin, the easier dating and having these types of relationships you want will occur. Most guys starting out struggle with not understanding the nuances of game, and the nuances is where all the truth lies. Most men don't know what attracts women to them, and the answer to what attracts the girl is ultimately a combination of looks, personality, and charisma. And charisma is just what you say. And charisma and game are the same. Charisma is just what you say, and game is the same as that. Now, some of you may have had prior success, but cannot get the consistent results, and you're wondering why sometimes things go well at the beginning, but you cannot seem to get more than a couple dates. If you find your relationships always going well at the first, but then fizzling out, join me in the next video where I discuss this in further depth. This is Austin. Best of luck. Until next time.